Hazy B, we had a grenade thrown into our show today about, I don't know, about 90 seconds before airtime. GM Kyle Dubas, the Leafs decided to part ways with him moving forward. What's up, Hazy B? How did you react to the news?
Well, not surprised that some sort of news was coming out, right? It was just a matter of time. They haven't
I,
played in a week,
I thought it
right?
was going to be a dump at 6:58 right when you guys signed off today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that would not have been surprising at all, the way that things generally work around here with the Leafs, the Raptors. I think the Blue Jays have done that a couple of times, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not at all be surprising. I can't say I was bracing for Dubas to be out and Dubas on his own. We're waiting to hear more information. What led to this? I'm of what we know of Brendan Shanahan. My guess will be he won't reveal many of the details. I could be wrong on that. We'll see. We'll see what he's willing to say. Everyone's hanging over the press release, and did the Leafs break up with Dubas? Did Dubas break up with the Leafs? I think it is important to kind of know that in terms of how they're going to operate from here, though, and maybe explain why this wasn't a full house cleaning. Like, Sheldon Keefe is still the head coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, if the plan was, okay, this didn't work, like if that was the conclusion, regardless of everything that's been reported about the two sides talking, the two sides negotiating, if it was concluded in the end, for whatever reason, the Leafs are going to move in a different direction, the two of them are synonymous, right? Like, Dubas and Keefe are tied at the hip.
Yes.
And, like, that leads me to kind of believe that maybe this just happened recently. Maybe there was a falling out. Maybe there was a sticking point, right? That Dubas was asking for something in particular. Possibly it was, I want to keep Keefe. I don't know. And then all of a sudden it became clear to Shanahan and the Leafs, okay, we have to move on, send the news out, and let's go.
Right.
I can't imagine Sheldon Keefe is feeling overly secure right now. But if this was always the plan, or if it was building towards this, I would have figured both of them would be out at the same time, and you'd reset. Maybe we'll find that answer out this afternoon, and I would assume possibly Shanahan's going to say the next GM will make that decision. And I'm not sure how Keefe should feel about that, because if he feels like he's out, he probably wants to get out quick so he can go and try to get another job.
Right.
Right? Like, there's a human element to this, obviously, and I think they should show that respect to Keefe. If they believe they're moving on, then rip the Band-Aid off, let him get out, and try to find another job somewhere else. But I think Brendan Shanahan is now on the clock. And regardless of how it got to this point, he better have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, right?
Right.
Like, if this was what was happening, we're just waiting for Kyle. We're waiting for Kyle, and then all of a sudden Kyle said, I'm not sure, so they fired him. You better not be showing up today saying, okay, boys, what are we going to do now?
Right.
Like, that is amateur hour. Like, that cannot happen with a well-run organization. And I'm not suggesting that did happen or that it is happening, but we don't know. So
You're right.
all of this is on the table. And, like, Shanahan, everyone knew this guy, like, Dubas was a lame duck GM. He was going into his final year. Shanahan was separating himself from it all season, right? Didn't see him up in the press box anymore in the luxury suite. Never hear from the guy. And now Dubas is the one that is out. Shanahan better have a plan here. He better have a plan, and it better get executed quickly.